Hello and welcome to Geek-lish, the language of geek culture. I am your host, Tim Aguiar, and fuck.
You didn't think of a name?
No, I had it. I had the nickname, and then I forgot it.
Oh, okay.
So, hold on. Okay. And again. Hello and welcome to Geek-lish, the language of geek culture. I am your host, Tim Aguiar, and joining me is the Watson to my Sherlock, Heidi Burbo.
Wow, I like that one. He does all the work, right?
He keeps Sherlock straight. When I'm in the corner, drugged up on heroin, pull that needle out of my
Jesus. I think he keeps him on the straight and narrow,
Yeah.
but I don't know how well I do that on this podcast because we go off the rails a lot.
A bit.
All right. So, everybody, you can find more information about the Geek-lish podcast and listen to our episodes. You can find us at www.geeklish- Wait, nope, that's wrong. That is so wrong. www.geek-lish.com. On Facebook at geek-lish and Twitter at geek_lish. You can also hear our episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Blueberry. Or Blueberry. I don't know how to say it right. It's BLUBRRY.
Yeah.
Also, check out our website for a new page called Extras. It's funny outtakes from our episodes. And we're getting swag, people.
It's coming.
We're getting some funny swag. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep it all over social media once it's up. We've got a few, I think 3 different store locations, virtual store locations. Amazon is one of them. Redbubble is another one. And I can't remember the other one. It's T something, but we'll let you guys know when it's all available. So, Tim, what's in the news?
Well, sorry. Firstly, got to say hello to my little buddy, Oliver.
What's up, Ollie?
Love you, bubs. Now go to bed. Daddy's got to do some work. All right. First story. Brie Larson, the main actress for Captain Marvel. Pretty much Captain Marvel.
Yep.
This it looks awesome. Looks exciting. I am excited for it. Comes out soon. But a lot of people are upset lately.
Yeah, what for now?
Yeah, she said some things that I think people took out of context.
That's shocking.
Yeah. Well, what happened was, before I get into the actual article,
What happened was
she...
Sorry.
I don't know why that happened. She felt that there was not enough...
Diversity.
Thank you. Jesus. There was not enough diversity in the kind of the reporting of movies and these press junkets and conferences and whatnot. It's mostly done by white guys. You know, you see a lot of these videos, and I watch a lot of these videos. The majority of them are, the interviewers are white men.
Right.
And Brie Larson noticed this, and so she went to a friend of hers and found out that, a report was released that examined nearly 20,000 reviews of last year's 100 top grossing movies. The report found that 63.9% of those reviews were written by white men versus white women, 18.1%, underrepresented men, 13.8%, and underrepresented women, 4.1%.
Underrepresented means what?
Not white.
Okay. Anything other than white?
Pretty much, yeah. Black, Hispanic, Asian.
Okay.
So she noticed that, and, she wanted to change it.
Yeah.
You can't really change it. That's an impossibility. But what she tried to do was she tried to add some more diversity. So she kind of said that she only wanted to be reviewed by people of color or women. And one of the first interviews she did was with a handicapped, a paraplegic woman, I should say.
Okay.
For a magazine for Captain Marvel, and people went crazy.
by people, you mean white dudes.
Soy boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just be honest.
Soy
it's
boys.
the white men.
Yeah. And because a lot of people were saying that, like, she said she had a lot of, she's racist and sexist towards white men. Which, I mean, if you've ever seen Brie Larson, she is quite possibly one of the whitest women you will ever see.
Yeah, I know.
She's pretty white. But, yeah. Oh, it was, that report was led by Dr. Stacy L. Smith of the USC Annenberg Inclusion Initiative.
Okay.
Was that article, which is, I guess, a friend of Brie Larson, she said. And
so the percentages you just...
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, the percentages.
Okay.
The report that she had found with those percentages was written by Dr. Stacy L. Smith.
Okay.
Who wrote this. And Brie Larson tried to kind of clear it up and said, am I saying I hate white dudes? No, I'm not.
Yeah, I
But
didn't think she would say
if you,
that.
yeah, but if you make the movie that is a love letter to women of color, there is an insanely low chance a woman of color will have a chance to see your movie and review your movie. Pretty much saying that, you make, was it 12 Years a Slave? That actor who's in that movie, every press junket he went to, for the most part, the people reviewing him were white guys.
Yeah, which is a sad irony.
Yeah, exactly. Which is not really, not to say that they're not the demographic, but you're kind of not trying to reach those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Movies reach those people anyway. You
Yeah.
kind of want your movie to reach this specific audience, and if those people in that audience aren't reviewing your movie, what are the chances that the audience you want to get is actually going to hear about it?
Right.
You know what I mean? I said that very convoluted.
A little bit.
And a little mumbled.
A little bit.
I'll admit. I could have worded that better. But Larson continued, audiences are not allowed enough chances to read public discourse on these films by the people that the films were made for. I should have just read this.
Probably.
Instead of saying what I said. I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what it meant to women of color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial. Perfect point.
Yeah.
A Wrinkle in Time is about this biracial teenage girl who has to save her father, Chris Pine. And, it's sci-fi and it's a Disney movie. And, if the only people reviewing this movie is, as Brie Larson said, 40-year-old white guys, it's, they're going to miss aspects and story points and little beats that aren't meant for them, that are meant for young women or like biracial teens or the people that these movies were made for.
Yeah.
Children.
Yeah, if I want an opinion from somebody on how to be a mother, I'm going to ask a mother, not a father.
Right.
I mean, that's a little bit more abstract, but it is the same thing in my head.
It's in the same ballpark of ideas.
You're not going... I can totally see that. Like, for instance, Harry Potter.
Right.
Right? It's pretty much was directed towards kids.
Yeah.
So...
It's a young adult children's book.
So we're not going to go to baby boomers and see what they think about it. Not that they don't care, but that's not the demographic they're looking at.
Yeah.
So it kind of wouldn't totally matter what they thought because it's probably not going to resonate with them. It's going to be kind of like out there.
Yeah.
Although my mom's a baby boomer and she loves Harry Potter. So there's that. But anyways, my point is that movie was made for a specific audience. And I could see her point because Captain Marvel is a woman.
Yeah.
Strong superhero woman.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense to be interviewed by women.
Right.
To see what their perspective is on this. I don't see anything wrong with what she said.
Yeah. Neither do I, in all honesty. It's the same thing with when Wonder Woman came out.
Yeah.
It was a very powerful movie for women at the time. I heard stories of, women crying in the theater when she walked out of the trench and walked across the battlefield. It was a very powerful moment.
Yep.
And, if I'm hearing a review by someone like me, and it's like, it was a powerful moment, but I don't see why anybody would cry over it because I'm not a woman.
Yeah, it's
and
not
I
gonna
wouldn't
have the
have
same impact.
I wouldn't have got how powerful it was or how
Yeah.
impactful it was.
Yeah.
So, hearing a review or being interviewed by a woman who would have, taken it more personally and maybe did cry in the theater or whatever, I feel like it gives the movie more weight in that aspect. It gives it more credence.
Yeah.
That, this movie isn't for you. Like she said, it's kind of ridiculous that, all these guys are getting upset. All these people are getting, because there are some women who are getting upset. But all these people are getting upset with Brie Larson saying that she's sexist and racist towards white men. It just doesn't make, you're missing the point of what she's saying.
And it doesn't hold any weight either.
And a lot of it's like, because people just hear, she said she doesn't want white guys to see her movie. That's what everybody is hearing.
And that's all. And that's as far as they go.
And that's as far as it goes because nobody does research. Yep. Nobody goes, or let me see exactly what she said.
Right, the context.
Let me see what the context is, because sometimes the context is so out of whack.
Yeah, I know.
That you finally look it up and go, oh, it's not that bad.
And I find it really.
It seems actually kind of reasonable.
It's really kind of it's really annoying to me. Not kind of. It's very annoying to me that white men are getting so bent out of shape over this when they ran everything in industry for so long.
Yeah.
And now we're trying to make room. She's trying to make room for other people who are different from just a white man. And all these guys are getting hurt about it, which is really annoying. But what also frustrates me even more is the women that are hurt about it. Because I think as women, we're so programmed just to accept things.
Yeah.
So when, for instance, a man, let's go back to the Wrinkle in Time thing. A man says, well, it was a great moment, but I don't understand why people will cry about it. Women have been programmed throughout history to have their feelings like poo-pooed. So we just kind of have evolved in a way where we just feel like, oh yeah, that's really not that big of a moment.
You mean Wonder Woman?
Wonder Woman, sorry. Yeah. When that is such a big moment.
Right.
And so it infuriates me when these women, on one hand it infuriates me because I feel like it's as women we need to stand up for other women.
Right.
Period. End of story. But also, it's a little sad because I see these women as being programmed just to feel like, and some of them are probably just idiots who don't look any deeper than she just.
Yeah. Oh, she said a stupid thing.
Yeah.
What an idiot. Just be an actress. Don't have a thought. Which is just a stupid fucking thing.
Yeah.
But the good thing is that because she made kind of a big stink about it, the Sundance Institute has pledged to give at least 20%, which is, it's better than nothing, of their top-tier press passes at next year's Sundance Film Festival to underrepresented groups. So something's being done, which is a huge thing.
That is
It's
huge.
a big step, which is awesome. And, I mean, to look at that and go, oh, that's racist and sexist. It's inclusive is what that is.
And no movement has ever happened without any pain and suffering. So Brie's taking the blunt of all this stupidity from these people who aren't really getting what she's really trying to do and what she actually was successful at. Because now you got a 20% commitment, which some people might not think that's a lot, but baby steps.
Yeah,
that's
20% is a good percentage.
Yeah,
and here's what she said to kind of prove that point of what you're saying. She says, what I'm looking for is to bring more seats up to the table. No one is getting their chair taken away. There's not less seats at the table. There's just more seats at the table.
Yeah.
That's all she's doing.
Yep.
The table is getting bigger. More seats are being added. That's all that's happening. Mm-hmm. Nobody's losing their chair. One actress refuses to get interviewed by white guys, and everybody throws a goddamn fit.
And honestly,
there are other actors and actresses in this movie who I'm sure are fine being interviewed by those people.
Yeah. And honestly, are they afraid of the competition?
Yeah.
Is that what they're throwing? They're trying to pull the race card because they're afraid of the competition? You're afraid that these underrepresented groups are going to be better than you? Because they probably are going to be, because they had to fight for it. When a lot of these people have not had to work as hard as these underrepresented groups have.
Yeah. And the last thing she said was, it really sucks that reviews matter. Good reviews out of festivals give small independent films a fighting chance to be bought and seen, and good reviews help films gross money. Good reviews slingshot films into award contenders. A good review can change your life. It changed mine. So, you get a movie that's not meant for that 40-year-old white guy, but that 40-year-old white guy watches that movie and he doesn't get it the way it should have been gotten, and it's a mediocre movie at best, when in reality, you give it to another demographic of people and they watch it and they go, this is the most powerful movie I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
But now, because of this 40-year-old white guy, I'm going to use the same thing that she said. Now this movie isn't going to get funded because this 40-year-old white guy is he's the most listened to reviewer in the world.
Yep.
And he thought your movie was so-so.
Yeah, she totally has a point there.
That's what I 100% accurate. I completely 100% agree with that, because I've seen people review movies that I've loved, that I felt so attached to the characters, and you read a review and go, what the hell? Did we watch the same movie?
Yeah.
Because I think you missed that point completely. Like, that made more sense to me than it made sense to this guy, and there's so many reviews like that where it just, then there are reviews that go the other way, where it's like, I thought that movie was terrible. What the hell were you watching?
Yeah.
But maybe I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't for me. But anyway, Zachary Levi, the actor, the lead actor, Jesus Christ, the lead actor for Shazam, which is another movie coming out.
That's such a fun word,
Shazam. But he plays Shazam, which is in the DC universe, Captain Marvel.
The equivalent.
That's his name. In the DC universe, his name is Captain Marvel.
Oh.
Yeah. I think eventually there were some legal things that happened between DC and Marvel, and Marvel kept the rights to Captain Marvel, and DC was just like, all right, we'll just call him Shazam. Because initially, his name was Captain Marvel, and he just said Shazam, which is the name of the wizard who gives him the powers. Oh. He says Shazam, and he transforms into Captain Marvel. So they just kind of change it to, even the comic books are just Shazam. They kind of dropped the Captain Marvel thing. But a lot of people on the internet are saying, because Brie Larson is playing Marvel's Captain Marvel, they're saying, I'm not going to watch this movie. It doesn't matter. DC's Captain Marvel is better anyway. And kind of, saying a lot of these things like, not my Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is, DC's Captain Marvel is much better. Shazam's Captain Marvel came out first anyway, so I'm going to go watch that one. And so Zachary Levi got pretty upset about this.
Yeah.
Because he felt, let me just read what he said instead of trying to
build it up.
Yeah. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it right now. Ready? Okay.
Yep. And go.
I just found out. Oh, Jesus. I just found this out last night, and for anyone out there who thinks you're doing me a favor, you're doing Shazam a favor, you're doing Warner Brothers, you're not. This is not helping anyone or anything. This is really low blow type of stuff to be going and lying. First of all, is just the bottom line, or the bottom of the barrel to me. He wrote this very weird. But to be lying in an attempt to discredit or defame somebody, I think is just really sad. Yeah. Because there was a bunch of tweets that went out that was of people who claimed I put finger quotes up for no reason. I just realized.
I know.
Those finger quotes were for you, Heidi.
Now, this movie, Captain Marvel, is not out, right?
It's not out yet.
Okay.
But
so these people are claiming they've seen the movie?
These people claimed they saw this movie. Oh, so here's 3 tweets.
Okay. I can't wait
One
to hear
person
this.
said, just took my nephews to see Captain Marvel. Impossible. It's not out yet. And I'm utterly repulsed at the blatant propaganda for the conservative agenda, building walls, converting the queer, and discriminating against minorities. I'm catastrophically disgusted.
What?
This was written in February 22nd. The movie doesn't come out until March 5th.
Okay, wait a minute. What?
So, this is how bad these people are lying. These people are lying so big.
That maybe they're just thinking people... you know what? People will believe them.
Yeah.
There are idiots out there that will believe them.
To the point where Zachary Levi had to tweet about it.
Yeah.
And say, these blatant lies. Here's another one. I just watched Captain Marvel, and I'm at a loss for words. Intense gore, overwhelming anti-Semitism, glorifying racial violence, and conservative propaganda. This is a Disney movie. First off, did we forget that Marvel is owned by Disney? Why would Disney have anti-Semitic gore? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Who would believe this person? Again, February 22nd.
Oh, God.
Ridiculous. And the last one I saw. Leaving the Captain Marvel theater early as a survivor of homophobic attacks throughout middle and high school, my stomach dropped when she used her powers to light a pride flag on fire.
What?
On the verge of tears, Brie Larson should be ashamed of herself. Fuck you, you jackass. I'm sure you got bullied in school because you're a fucking idiot, not because you're gay.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
What are they talking about?
That's what kills me. This is what kills me about this.
People.
These people lied so big. Racial things and homophobia and burning the pride flag. What the fuck is wrong
That
with
was
you?
a nice touch.
That was,
Jeez.
yeah. Give me a break. And that's why, yeah. And that's why Zachary Levi is like these blatant lies.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you? It really is bottom of the barrel kind of stuff. It's like you're making it. It's like
people.
Gee, it's like you just broke up with somebody and you're telling everybody, I found bodies in the basement.
Yeah.
Don't date Charlie because he's got bodies in the basement. You know, what I mean, he'll play with your dog in a very non-friendly way. What the fuck are you talking about?
Wow.
But yeah,
those are so over the top.
That's what makes them so comical.
And how did they here's my question. Everybody knows or has access to find out the release dates to movies. Do they not know that people are going to know this movie's not out yet?
Right. And I don't know if this was like a pre-release event or something like that, but I mean, it was February 22nd, and the movie doesn't come out until March 5th. You're at least like 2 weeks, or I'm sorry, March 8th, it doesn't come out. And you're like 2 weeks, like before the movie came out, you went and saw it. And you... you saw the right movie?
Yeah. Are you sure?
I mean, are you sure you saw
Captain
the right
Marvel?
movie? Yeah. Sure you saw Captain Marvel? You don't watch like Inglourious Bastards or like something Quentin Tarantino made?
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't know if what you saw was Captain Marvel.
Disney doesn't do gore.
Yeah, that's the one thing is that like Disney doesn't do gore. Disney doesn't do anything racial.
Yeah.
You know, they don't do. There was a scene
anymore.
Oh, that's a good. Those crows from Dumbo were very racist.
Well, not even that. Like back in the early, I remember some kind of Disney film where they had blackface or something.
And one of the rides, I remember I think the log flume. It had a black character on there.
Oh.
And it was based off like Tales of the South or some shit like that. It was back in the day, and I was like, ooh, Disney. Ooh.
Yeah, I think they cleaned all that up. They
did now. But
they're certainly not going to put it in a movie now.
Yeah, they're not going to put it in a superhero movie.
And I'm sorry.
And the superhero, the hero of the movie does all these terrible things.
And here's
maybe
my
the
thing.
Villain did.
Here's my thing. Here's what I'm thinking. These people are such idiots because if this stuff was actually in this movie, the ACLU, every legal eagle,
the LGBTQ, the
all these
NAACP,
they would be protesting the movie. This would be a huge story all over the news, and it's not.
Right.
Because there's nothing like that in the movie.
Right. Yeah, this story would not break from 3 jackasses on the internet. Like this shit would have been on Fox News.
Yeah, because
and the whole like building a wall thing, do you realize if that was actually in the movie, I would have heard about it from Trump.
Yeah.
Even Captain Marvel thinks it's a great idea.
Yeah, I know.
Like, even a superhero thinks I'm great. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Why would that be in a movie with a superhero? Like, I can see the villain doing that. Lex Luthor would do something like that.
Yeah.
Not Superman. It's like, I watched a movie about Superman. He uses heat vision to burn the fucking the gay pride flag. Are you an idiot? Do you know what Superman is? Not who, but what he is? Because
I can't really even wrap my head around how stupid these are.
The Captain Marvel. People got upset. To your point, that something like these big, huge things that happened in this movie would have broken. There's a legitimate scene in the movie that was in the trailers where Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, punches an old lady on the bus. Oh
yeah, that was.
And people lost their minds.
Yep.
Because it was like, did I just watch Captain Marvel punching an old lady on the bus? And it was like, guys, use your common. And a lot of people were like, use your common sense. Either Brie Larson is punching an alien who is just disguised as an old lady.
Yeah.
Or the Captain Marvel character is an alien disguised as Captain Marvel to discredit Captain Marvel. Yeah. One of those things is happening.
Yeah.
A good person, a good superhero, isn't punching an elderly person just for shits and giggles. Like, that's not happening. People lost their shit over that scene that's in the movie. And if you watch trailers now, they've actually extended it to where you see the lady kind of like kind of her face changes a little bit and she jumps on the top of the bus. Context. To be like, okay, so she's not a person. So if these things were actually in the movie, we would have heard about it.
Yeah.
Again, the story wouldn't have broke from 3 morons on Twitter.
Yeah.
It would have been on the news. I would have heard it from IMDb. You know what I mean? Not from Tom, Dick, or Harry. Or
John Oliver or something.
Yeah, or John Oliver would have made a joke about it. Not from Tom, Dick, or Harry.
I know. Oh, God.
But people like these tweets, these
tweets are just ridiculous.
Absolutely. I fucking love them so much. I want a movie. I want those tweets together to be a movie. That would be the most offensive movie ever made.
Yeah, they picked every buzzword.
Yeah. That's and that's exactly what I told you. They picked every buzzword.
Yep.
And they were like, what's a negative word that people are upset about?
Let's get some triggers.
Wall, homophobia, pride flag.
Let's get some triggers out there.
Anti-Semitism. Everything happens in this movie. It's all those things.
I'm surprised they didn't say Hitler was in the movie.
Yeah. She shakes hands and makes out with Hitler. It was the scariest thing. Yeah, I know. And then Captain America punches Hitler and thankfully also punches Brie Larson. So stupid.
Yeah.
But because of these types of tweets, now these are the most extreme of them.
Yeah. I would hope so.
These are God, I hope they are the most extreme. But but on Rotten Tomatoes, they are also coming under fire because of what Brie Larson said. Or
Rotten
really
Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes, if you don't know, get out from under a rock. Also, if you don't know, I don't blame you. It's a website, it's a review website where they'll rate movies and TV shows and stuff like that. And they have a critic review rating, and they also have a viewer review rating. And in most cases, I like to go with their viewer review rating.
I like when they separate them like that.
Yeah, and they separate them like that, and it's very good because it's like you could also tell what's a really bad movie if they're both like shit reviews.
Yeah, I know.
It's like, critics gave it a 25 and viewers gave it a 2. I am not watching this movie. This looks like garbage. But anyway, so what they're trying to curb the whole negative review thing, but not in a way where they're like, say, bad reviews, because what people are doing, they're review bombing Captain Marvel.
That's shitty.
Which is a term here that means purposefully writing negative reviews to, bomb the rating of said movie or TV show.
That is really
and
low,
again,
people.
This is a movie that isn't out yet.
Yeah,
so viewer reviews shouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what Rotten Tomatoes are doing. What they're doing is they're removing it. On Monday, February 25th, Rotten Tomatoes announced that it would no longer allow users to comment ahead of a movie's release. Rotten Tomatoes assured users they would be able to post reviews after the movies had opened, and that its signature audience score would appear after a film is released, which makes 100% sense.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I can't review I'm not a professional reviewer. I'm not getting a copy of a movie. I'm not getting invited to a screening.
Yep.
I'm some asshole who pays $10 to $15 to go watch a movie in a theater.
Yep.
I don't know what the movie is until after I see it. So there shouldn't review ratings for a movie that isn't even out yet shouldn't even exist.
No.
They shouldn't exist.
And honestly, I don't know if critics should be able to do that, except...
Well, because the critics, what they'll do is... I'm fine with critics doing it, because critics will get early screenings.
I think there's a time. Like, I don't think they need to do it, like, way ahead of the movie.
Well, I think there is a time. I think there's usually, like... It's either a few weeks or maybe a month before the movie actually comes out, just to give them enough time to write a review. Before the movie comes out. So yeah, they won't get like the movie very far in advance. They'll get it in a couple of weeks in advance. So like the movie comes out in, when this is airing in March 8th. So a couple of weeks ago, you will be seeing the reviews. So you should see you'll be seeing the reviews now coming out of professional reviewers, not from Joe Blows.
Okay.
And so, people were pretty upset about it. And Rotten Tomatoes said, more accurately and authentically represent the voice of fans while protecting our data and public forums from bad actors. Wait, what?
Bad actors?
Oh, I'm sorry. Edit that out. I'm not going to mention that. That's I read that out of context.
Okay.
But anyway, a spokeswoman for Rotten Tomatoes, they didn't say the name of the spokeswoman for some reason. I don't know why. But a spokeswoman for Rotten Tomatoes said that it's absolutely the scenario that we want to address moving forward, the whole review bombing thing.
Right.
The comments and some of the people who decided to kind of campaign against the site, it's obviously not useful to our users anymore, so we decided to turn that feature off, which it isn't. Having a review before the movie is out from audience members isn't helpful.
No.
You're not helping. You're not being... Whether you are trying to be or not, you haven't seen the movie. You can't speak on it.
I think they're trying to just ruin the chances of the movie doing well because they have their own agenda.
Yeah, they have agendas on this. And it's...
They don't care about other people enjoying it or not. They just don't want them to even want to see it. So they bomb it so they don't have to.
Yeah. But I guess they had also changed something called want to see rating on... on the Rotten Tomatoes website.
Okay.
And it's, I guess, for a kind of anticipation, like, oh, I want to see this movie. Yeah, click, yes, I want to see this movie.
Gotcha.
And I guess that was also being bombed because of this whole thing. And Huffington Post documented that before Rotten Tomatoes changes, the want to see for Captain Marvel had plummeted to 53% over the course of a few days. And that users had left comments such as, Larson's sexist and racist attitudes don't want me to spend money on this anyway, so here you go, Miss Larson. Comments like that annoy me they enrage me. Let me just do that. They enrage me. Because here's my take on this. Even if you don't agree with what Brie Larson said, you're not only kind of shitting on her, you're also shitting on the other actors in this movie.
Yeah.
The production, the people who are in the production, the editors, the sound designers, the guys who make the people who do the special effects, the people who do the scores for the movie, all of these people who get no credit, not even from the fucking Oscars.
Yeah.
Those are the people you're really shitting on.
Yep.
Because your $10 for not going to see this movie isn't going to make a dent in what Brie Larson makes in a fucking year anyway.
Yeah.
So get off your goddamn high horse and look at the bigger goddamn picture.
Yeah.
Because there are people who are underappreciated in the movie industry that are going to suffer more than the A-list actors and actresses are. I don't like Tom Cruise as a person. Mel Gibson said some horrible shit.
Yeah.
But I watch their movies. Do you know why? Because they're good actors. Also, the movies they make hire a lot of people to make them. There are other actors in their movies that I enjoy watching. There are the music is always big and epic. The effects are always amazing. The stunts are always amazing. Those are the people I go to see. I don't give a shit about Tom Cruise, about Mel Gibson, about any of the other actors who do shitty things or say shitty things. There are other people involved in the movie, other actors, minor actors, character actors that I prefer to see in anyway. And if those people are also in those movies, those are the guys I'm going to see. The guys and gals I'm going to see.
And also, I mean, you don't have to care about these people personally.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I can separate Tom Cruise and his ways from his acting because I can separate the art from the artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not a guy I like, but he's a hell of an actor.
Yeah.
And I like his movies.
The other side of that is, too, with these people that are saying what they're saying. And I'm not even talking about the lies. I'm just talking about the jumping on, oh, she's sexist, racist.
Yeah.
Do your damn homework, man.
Do the research.
The whole, look into the whole story. Don't just read the headline or take your friend Tammy's word for whatever, or Karen, because there's always that fucking Karen who's got an opinion about something.
God damn it, Karen.
Sorry for all the Karens. But anyways.
But no, your opinion doesn't matter, Karen.
I'm sure some of you are lovely, but the rest of you are bastards.
Yeah.
No, but but at the end of the day,
we lost all the Karens. They're all just like, well, fuck you guys then.
Never listen to this shit again.
Bastards.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, come on, people, do your homework, look into things. Don't just read. Like I said, that so many people do not deep dive in these stories.
Correct. Yeah.
They just read the title and they go, and
that's
because everybody wants to be pissed about something.
Right. That's
so
the problem.
they just pick something. Yeah. Tweets are horrible.
And the headline.
Twitter's horrible. Yeah. It is so horrible. Yeah. I think Lady Gaga said it the best. She was on Jimmy Kimmel, and she said social media is the toilet of the internet because it is just ruined. Well, she was talking about the whole her and Bradley Cooper having an affair.
That's
or something.
right. Yeah.
And she was saying, it's a love song and a love story, and we wanted you to see what we wanted you to see because we're actors.
If you watched that movie and you believed they were having an affair, guess what? They did their job. Because that means they are phenomenal enough actors that you believed that they were in love with each other.
Exactly. So, with that said, so many people were just, and intelligent people were just very, oh, that's not right, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, first of all, you're making a thing that's not a thing.
Yeah.
But second of all, do your research. Yeah. Look into, when you told me about the Brie Larson story, I looked up some things, some of the things that you had talked about here, but I didn't know you were going to talk about them. Oh. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, I can see how some idiot who doesn't look deep enough, doesn't read the story, just reads the headline, would take this way out of context.
Oh yeah, and that's the problem is that people read the headline of the story and go, oh, she doesn't like white people.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Google is your friend. Use it.
Yeah.
Google shit. God. But anyway, so I'm gonna watch Captain Marvel. It's gonna be awesome.
So am I. I absolutely am.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it for the cat. Because that cat looks awesome. Okay.
There's no cat.
There's a trailer.
Is there really? I don't remember seeing a cat in the trailer.
Yeah.
I just saw her hit an old person. I was insulted.
Well, I hate old people, so I'm glad she's doing it. I hope she hits some more old people in this movie. They all deserve to get hit.
All the alien old people.
Yeah, alien old people. Jeez. Yeah. Yeah, alien. Again, I'm doing finger quotes. Anyway, so next, on to the next story.
That was so exhausting.
Yeah, God. This one's a short one, but Ja Rule, another rapper.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, another rapper that we haven't heard from in a long time.
Yeah,
in a couple of years.
Yeah,
because he was
trying to be relevant again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
who loves orange soda? Sorry. Anyway, so little backstory on Ja Rule. If you don't know, he's a rapper. And he was kind of involved in the last Fyre Festival.
Yeah, I heard about that.
There's 2 documentaries out there, one on Hulu, one on Netflix. And they both cover the Fyre Festival in different ways and the absolute shenanigans and just the nefarious dealings that went on. Super nefarious what happened there. I'm not going to go into the whole story of the Fyre Festival. Watch the documentaries. They're absolutely eye-opening on what happened. But Ja Rule claims that he wasn't directly involved. He got swindled as well, and he was tricked. He says he was also bamboozled. But okay. I watched the documentaries, and you didn't look bamboozled.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but anyway, so TMZ stopped him in an airport, as they do, and they asked him about the Fyre Festival and all that stuff, And he said, in the midst of chaos, there's opportunity. Because I guess he's working on a new app called Icon, which sounds similar to McFarlane's app. McFarlane being the guy that he was in cahoots with. Cahoots sounds bad, but he was in business dealings with, who ran the Fire Festival, who robbed people of a lot of money.
He went to jail, right?
He went to jail for 5 years, and he owes $20 million to people. So
wow.
Fuck that guy. He's an ass. But I mean, Ja Rule's working on another app, very similar to McFarlane's app. Red flag. Boop.
Yep.
The goal is to launch a festival in the same vein as Fire Festival, but functional. Ja Rule, you listen to me right now.
Dude.
Learn the lesson of the past.
Yeah. Read the room, guy.
Yeah. Read the room. Here's what he said. He goes, Fire is the most iconic festival that never was. I have plans to create the iconic music festival, but you didn't hear it from me. Ja Rule, listen, you fucking better not do. And here's the thing. Even if I think even if he attempts to do another festival,
it's not going to be successful. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Because if I was a musician and Ja Rule called me up and was like, hey, I'm putting a festival together. No. Mm-mm. No. Ja Rule and festival, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. It's a jaded path already.
Yeah. And it happened in 2017 or 2016.
It wasn't even that long ago.
It was like 3 years ago. Dude, too soon. This is too soon. What are you thinking?
I think he's trying to fix his reputation. Because if he pulls it off, then...
if he pulls it off, he's a genius.
But it's not going to happen.
It's not going to work.
No.
It's not going to work. Like maybe 5-10 years from now, maybe try a festival.
Yeah, nobody's going to buy that shit.
2 years after you're thinking about doing a festival, come on, dude. What are you even thinking about right now?
Yeah, it's not going to work.
You're out of your mind.
Completely.
Yeah, he talks about his app, Icon, as well. He goes, it is kind of similar to what the Fire app was, but you have to understand the app was separate from the festival, Ja Rule told TMZ. Different teams working on the app than the festival and the whole nine. So I don't know if he's working with the same team that did the app prior, because they also they seemed like they also got bamboozled,
right,
and finagled and whatever. But it's like, come on, guys, what are you even thinking about? And and it's so funny too, because after this news, he's been kind of getting, I don't want to say attacked, but
pushback,
attacked on Twitter by people who are like, Ja Rule, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about? Don't do it. You're out of your mind. It's like,
because,
dude, it was too
honestly,
it was 2 years ago, dude.
His reputation is not that great right now because of that. Because those documentaries make him look bad.
Yeah.
From what I heard. I haven't seen them. But if he tries to do this and it doesn't work, he's done.
Oh, he's absolutely done.
Absolutely
done. I if I was him, I would hold off a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to work. There's no way it can.
He can't pick something else to do.
Yeah, dude, why a festival?
Come on, guy.
Yeah, pick another thing. Do an album.
Yeah.
How's that? Do an album. You and Soulja Boy can do an album. Call it,
Get yourself relevant.
Get yourself relevant
right.
again. You know what I mean? Stop doing illegal, nefarious things. God, what are you doing?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I saw that a few days ago, and I was just like, I need to talk
ridiculous.
About this, because I don't know what the hell he's thinking about.
So, are we going to talk about scary stuff now?
We are.
Okay.
Some,
scared.
Scary.
It's so scary.
I'm scared. Okay. So, there's this thing out called Momo. M-O-M-O. People are freaking out. I freaked out. I was one of those people. I was telling everybody about it. But
you told me about it.
I told you about it. You don't even have kids.
And I was scared.
She was scared. She's like, I'm not going to be on YouTube anymore. Stay off YouTube, kids. But she goes. Sorry. Jesus. On February 17th, a parent anonymously sent in a warning about the Momo challenge to a Facebook group for the town of England. West Thoughton. Haha, got it. West Thoughton, England. I'm actually kind of proud of myself.
If that's how you pronounce it.
Fuck off, Heidi. Now I don't know. Well, no longer proud. But she wrote, the parent wrote, I'm deeply alarmed. I have discovered when I collected my kid today, the teacher asked to talk to me. She said my kid had made 3 kids cry by telling them that Momo was going to go into their room at night and kill them. First off, fuck your kid. Why would your kid do that? It's a shitty thing to do. Why would your kid just say that to somebody?
Yeah.
The post contained a description of the challenge and urged other parents in town to talk to their kids about bad people online. So, it was on the news there as like a suicide game hits Britain and, big red flags everywhere. A Florida news station claimed Momo was the latest trend on social media. Even Kim Kardashian tweeted out to like her fans, like, this is scary. Keep your eyes out for this thing, whatever.
When we all know she's a prophet, so we have to listen to her.
Well, because she also has kids.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm just saying. It was weird that, like, Kim Kardashian said something.
Yeah. She's married to Kanye, who's a wackadoo, so...
I feel like he's scarier than any...
Yeah, like, maybe you should take care of your own glass house.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm not a fan of the Kardashians at all.
Clearly.
Not at all. I think they're horrible people.
I feel like you're attacking me right now.
Well, you're the messenger.
I am. Right, I literally am. But a New York magazine wrote, a little strange that we're once again talking about Momo in 2019. Strange, but given the way the web works, not that surprising. Now, they said that because years ago, this had come up. This Momo challenge had come up years ago, but it was supposedly targeting teens, like mid-teens, and young adults, people like that. And there was apparently 130 suicides in Russia alone that was supposedly tied to the Momo challenge. Supposedly.
They were talking about this challenge on TikTok recently.
They've talked about it on the news, on BBC, on, I think, Fox. They're talking about this everywhere.
These type of things are very sick. I really did not bring my words today. They're very, they come around again. It seems like all these things keep coming around.
Yeah, they have
they happen for a while, they go away, they come back.
Periodically come back.
Yeah.
But on Twitter, there's tens of thousands of retweets claiming that claims the YouTube and YouTube Kids videos, saying that it doesn't come on instantly, so it's almost as if it waits for you to leave the room. That sentence kind of makes it like, oh, it's a ghost.
Yeah.
But it's just a fucking video. And then comes on in mid-show. It's been seen on Peppa Pig, which is a show for children. My son watches it. LOL Doll. I don't know what that is.
I mean,
those surprise eggs videos. It's a thing.
Okay.
And a few others. But when the Post attempted to find any of these videos, we came up short. So the Washington Post tried to do some research. They couldn't find anything. So they're saying that the proof was less than convincing. So now, I've been reading lately that people are starting to think that this is all a hoax, that this isn't real, and that nothing is even happening.
It may not be.
It may not be.
Although, I mean, if they don't have any hard proof that it's happening, then I'm going to say it's not. But at the end of the day, predators are
it's still something to look out for.
Yeah.
But even YouTube had to mention something. They said they denied that Momo was spreading across their platforms. After much review, we've seen no recent evidence of videos promoting the Momo challenge on YouTube. Videos encouraging harmful and dangerous challenges are clearly against our policies, the Momo challenge included. Despite press reports of this challenge surfacing, we haven't had any recent links flagged or shared with us from YouTube that violate our community guidelines. Now, I mean, I don't know if I would take the word of the platform that it's happening on.
Well,
it's
I'll
like
tell you,
if Toyota was like, we're getting a lot of reports that our cars explode on the highway. Our cars are not exploding on the highway. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to believe you saying that your cars aren't exploding on the highway. Let me read some other reports. So I'm glad YouTube, quote unquote, looked into it. I really tried not to do the finger quotes. It's like holding my hands. But
you know why I think they did? Because they are super rigid.
They are massively rigid.
Because I remember when Lou and I did the Boston motorcycle vet run,
Okay.
And I made the video of all the pictures and everything. I used a Bob Seger song. And I got reported.
You got flagged, yeah.
Yeah, and I had to argue it.
And I got demonetized.
I had to argue basically, why I used it. And I said because Bob Seger has long supported vets and motorcycle riding. So
the two things that are in my video.
I don't think he would have a problem with it being in this video, and I'm not getting any money from it. It's just entertainment and just show people a cause, blah, blah, blah. So I had to fight that.
Yeah.
Because of a song.
Yeah, YouTube is...
So they're rigid
YouTube
about
has
their requirements.
Very rigid guidelines on stuff like that, where it's kind of gotten it's kind of gotten out of hand lately.
It's a little ridiculous,
where like I've even heard stories of certain YouTubers getting demonetized by companies that they reviewed poorly.
Right.
Where it's like, all right, these companies are using YouTube's of kind of their system negatively. Like, that's not how you use that system.
Well, there's always loopholes.
There's always those people.
Yeah,
there's always those people. So, I mean, I kind of believe YouTube, but I also kind of don't, because, I mean...
You're suspicious.
It's suspicious, because, I mean, I can see why they wouldn't, like, not on our platform. No way would this horrible thing where they're telling children to kill themselves be happening.
Legally, they get sued, though.
That's what I mean.
I think they would look into it.
Well,
but also, what I don't understand is, so the people are saying the video comes on while kids are watching other videos. What is it, inserted into the video or between videos?
From what I heard and from what I understand, that they're like spliced into the videos.
That makes no sense, because YouTube would be able to see that.
Right, YouTube reviews those videos. Yeah. And they would actually see that and anything. And I've even heard stories of YouTubers being like videos being taken off of YouTube that even talk about Momo. Yeah. So, I mean, maybe they're right. Maybe they are telling the truth, and maybe there is nothing on there, because I mean, their guidelines are super strict. Yeah. So, I mean, also a lot of people, it's recently coming out that maybe this is a hoax. Maybe this isn't real. Maybe there is no Momo or whatever the hell like that. And Samaritans, a UK-based suicide prevention organization, told The Guardian that they were concerned all the coverage of the Momo challenge was raising the risk of harm for vulnerable people. These stories being highly publicized and starting a panic means vulnerable people get to know about it, and that creates a risk. Yeah. I can see that. I can kind of see that being an issue. Yeah, because like they're making something that's not a thing. Yeah, and people who tend to self-harm might, even if it is real, might search for it. Yeah. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think that's what Samaritans is worried about, is that like maybe we shouldn't be talking about this on the news. Yeah, if it's not a thing, let's not make it. Yeah, let's not make it a thing. And where people who might be searching for something to. Yeah, to as a reason to self-harm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and in the article they also mentioned that if you know to prevent clinical depression, or if you know anybody with previous suicide attempts, can call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. TALK. Mention on there. And I felt like I should mention it as well, just in case. Absolutely. But the other thing too is that even now, after doing all the research and reading, I've read a bunch of other articles that might say that it's a hoax, it's not real. So maybe it isn't, but you should still keep an eye out on what's happening out there, right? You know what I mean? Because YouTube has you can't even comment now on videos that kids are in. They've completely removed the comment section of those videos. Oh wow! So you can't even comment on that anymore, because I don't mean, there's a lot of sick people out there. Oh yeah. Okay. And predators are using social media. Right. There's predators using TikTok. Yeah. Because recently, and I'm new to TikTok. I don't do videos yet, which I do want to do some funny little stupid ones. Right. But I've been watching, and there was somebody on there who everybody was trying to get off of there because they said he was a pedophile, and they were targeting young girls. Oh, geez. Or young children. I don't know if they specifically said girls. And there's also TikTokers that are like parents that are watching out for other kids. Right. And one TikToker said that there was
like a lot of people who TikTok that are older will say, if you're under 18, don't do it my videos.
Right. I've seen those. I've seen those videos of people saying that.
I think that's fair, you know.
Yeah, I get it.
Because you don't want anything getting misconstrued.
Yeah, yeah.
So one lady who I really like, she's from the South, so I love listening to her because she is funny. She said that somebody duetted her, and she said she likes to go to their pages and follow them too as a thank you. And she said she went to this girl's age who was probably a 10 or 11.
Oh boy.
If she was a day. And she said 70% of her videos were of her dancing around in her in basically like her bra.
Oh boy.
And so she reported the channel.
Yeah.
And it got taken down.
Right. Which
is good because that's just like candy to a pedophile.
Yeah.
And that's specifically why she did it, because she said, I'm going to watch for these babies. But I'm sure, but on the other side of it, you get all these young kids that are telling adults that, like, you're fat, you should kill yourself. I mean, kids are shitty. They're super shitty, and they're super impressionable. Yeah. So regardless if we like their little shitty attitudes, we have to look out for them. Yeah. So even TikTok is became, I don't know if people are still doing it, but I'm sure that social media's had made it very easy for predators.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really do TikTok. I go in there every once in a while and watch a couple of funny videos. But yeah, I'm not really into it. But yeah, you're absolutely right though, because these videos with these kids and there are videos on YouTube that Oliver watches that are these kids. And after I read that bit where it said that they YouTube removed the comment section, I went into the videos that Oliver watches to see the comments, and they're all gone. You cannot comment. And I was like, wow, they really did do that. Yeah. And I was like, all right.
It just tells me it kind of makes sense. They're taking it very seriously.
And they should. And I don't.
Regardless if it's a thing, they're trying to
and I don't blame
a preemptive strike.
Yeah, there's a whole, this whole thing with like Momo and that kind of stuff where it's like, I have a kid. So I hear about this story of this British lady where her 7-year-old tells her that this creepy thing on the internet told me to grab a knife and put it in my neck. Scares the shit out of me. Yeah. Because, I don't know what most of the time when he's watching something on YouTube or whatever, I know what he's watching. It's usually the same 3 or 4 channels. I know what they are. But every so often I'll hear a voice I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you watching? And I'll peek over and see what it is. And it's like, and he's 100% like, oh yeah, it's this. And he just shows it to me. And I'm like, okay, what is that? What is this thing you're looking at? And it's always goofy and stupid. It's never anything like crazy. There's a couple of times where he's watched something where it's like, that's a little weird. Yeah. What are you watching? But it's not gross or it's not ultra violent. So I'm like, all right, it's fine. It's just weird. Be weird. It's fine to be weird. Yeah. So, but, whether you believe the Momo thing is real or not, you still have to look out. You still have to pay attention to what your kids are watching, what your kids are playing, to what your kids are talking about. Because who the fuck knows? Yeah. It's the internet. I'm going to sound like such an old person. The internet is scary. Yeah, it is. It's out there. You can find anybody on the internet. Yeah. And anybody can find you. Yep. And especially if a lot of times, kids play these online games, these online shooters, and, you have your headset on and you're put into a party with random people. Who the fuck knows what you're in there with? What I mean? Somebody hears you have a young voice and they start saying weird, creepy shit to you. Who the hell knows? You're not going to know that as a parent. No. Because you're not hearing it. Yeah. You just hope that your kid will tell you. But, it's just, it's a lot of scary shit out there. Yeah. And here's a little PSA for parents, okay? Don't act like your kids are freaking innocent and would never do anything wrong, like go on a site they shouldn't be. Stop being stupid, okay? You got to monitor your kids because they are stupid. They don't know better. They're trying to make their way through life. Stop acting like your kids do no wrong. Okay? Kids are kids. They're going to act like fools because that's the time to do it when you're a kid, to act like a complete idiot. So don't act like you don't have to worry. Like, oh, my child would never do that. My child will never go here or do whatever.
You gotta watch it, man. These kids are so vulnerable to what's out there, especially on the internet. It is scary. There's just garbage people everywhere.
And they're very impressionable.
Yeah.
And, it's easy. They're easily pressured.
Yeah.
Into things. You know what I mean? It's kind of, watch who your kids are playing with. Who
and
their
who they're
friends
talking
are.
to.
Yeah.
And what messages they're getting from people. I mean, even as adults, sometimes I will get some creepy messages on Facebook, which I'm never really on there.
Yeah.
And I will look at it and it's like, hey, I saw your picture and I'm like, ooh, what is, no.
What the hell?
And I'm thinking to myself, and I'm a woman. I'm a grown ass adult.
Yeah.
And I'm creeped out, but, and a little like, ugh,
Yeah.
Or I'll tell you one real quick thing. On my YouTube channel, I think that was like 2 years ago, on my YouTube channel, I do say I live in Massachusetts.
Right.
I don't think I've ever said the town, but I do say Massachusetts. And I had somebody on my YouTube channel send me a message, and it was really scary and kind of creepy because they were like, they knew what town I lived in, and they were talking like sexual, but kind of like very dominant-y sexual. And I was like, no, first of all.
Like aggressively sexual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And first of all, I kind of laughed because I was like, you're an idiot. Like, why would you send this to somebody? And you think this is really going to make somebody go, oh my God, I'm so hot for you. Maybe it would with some people, but to me, it made me laugh. And then I reported them to YouTube.
Yeah.
Because when I went to their channel, they had weird shit on there, and it was gross. And so, but it kind of freaked me out because I thought, how the frick do they know what town I live in? Because I was trying to go through my videos and listen, did I say where I lived?
Yeah.
And I don't, but people find me from YouTube on Facebook, and Facebook does say where I live.
Yeah.
So I assumed that's how they figured it out, but they were like, oh, I'm only, like 45 minutes away from you. And it was really,
that's scary.
So as a grown adult, that freaked me out. But I knew how to handle it. With younger people, it would freak them out, but they probably wouldn't talk about it because they would feel embarrassed and they wouldn't know how to handle it.
Right.
So they might reply to that person, and then that's where things get really bad.
Indeed, yeah, very dangerous.
Just, look out for really bad people.
But that got really real.
Yeah, really.
Cool. All right, well, that's it, guys. Bye. No.
You have something else.
I got something else. I got this is... I guess a bit of a review / history lesson.
Okay.
This kind of goes with the whole the topic of, do your research, look shit up, don't just assume. Because this one, it's funny because this one probably pissed me off more than any of the other stories. And it's like the least of them.
Yeah.
It just kills me because anyway, I think all right. I'm going to tell you what the story is, and I'll tell you why I was ultra pissed off about it. So I saw a movie on Netflix called Polar, Polar, Polar. Stars Mads Mikkelsen. I'm not spelling it because it's a hard name to spell. Mads Mikkelsen. He's absolutely incredible as an actor. I like him a lot. I think he's German. He's a really good actor.
He looks like he could be in like an old Western movie in that show Polar. When you look at him, he looks like a ruggedy old.
He's really grizzled.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not German. I think he's Swedish.
Oh, okay.
Or Norwegian. He's one of those countries. I don't know. Anyway, so he in this movie he plays an assassin, and it's awesome. Action happens, cool gun scenes. There's a story involved where he has to try to save a girl, and whatever. And when the movie first came out, it's a great movie, by the way. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a fun time, good action, good acting. He was great in it. Everybody was good in it. But before the movie came out, I saw a lot of reviews online. None of them were bad, but a lot of the reviews, the titles of them were, Polar, pretty much John Wick with Mads Mikkelsen. And was pretty much, it was like, Polar, it's Netflix's version of John Wick. And even people that I've talked to had the same thought. Even I had the same thought, because I was like, oh, well, it is very John Wicky, and he's running around with guns and he's flying around and he's shooting everybody.
Except it doesn't have Keanu Reeves.
It's just it doesn't have Keanu Reeves.
Who's just
there is
amazing.
a very funny scene with the dog that I thought, which is another reason why I thought it was like, oh, I think they get it.
Like a callback,
tongue in cheek.
Oh, okay.
To that, which is what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna watch the movie, I don't want to ruin the scene for you.
I'm not, but you don't want to spoil it for other people.
I don't want to spoil other people. I didn't expect it to happen. I'll tell you when we get off.
Okay.
I laughed out loud. I was like, oh, all right, that's great. That happened. But anyway, it's a great movie. But after I watched the movie, well, I had remembered that I went to the comic book store, I think, earlier that week. And I saw on the shelf a comic book entitled Polar. And I pulled it off the shelf and I saw a drawn image of pretty much Mad Mikkelsen's character in Polar with an eye patch. So I was like, oh, it's a comic book. And then I watched the movie and I was like, it's a great movie. And then I did what I do with every movie. I look it up online to see what it is or where it came from. So I was like, what is this based off of? And I looked it up and it was based off of a webcomic. And a webcomic, Polar is actually a webcomic, a web-based comic, I'm sorry. The comic is produced by Spanish artist Victor Santos, and it debuted in 2012 on the internet. And this is how Santos describes the comic. Polar is an online action comic. My approach is advancing at my own pace, but with a minimum rhythm of 2 weekly updates. Mondays and Thursdays. The story uses a minimalistic and direct style inspired by movies like Les Samurai, Jean-Pierre Melville, 1967, Tokyo Drifter, Seijun Suzuki, 1965, and Point Blank, John Borman, 1967, and novels like The Killer Inside Me, Jim Thompson, 1952, and the Iger Sanction Trevanian, 1979. Polar is also a tribute to artists like Jim Steranko, Jose Munez, Alberto Breccia, Alex Toth, and Frank Miller. Frank Miller, a big DC guy, did Batman, stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's a name American people will know.
Okay.
It's Frank Miller. Big in DC. And so he based this comic. He has all these things that he pulled from that he loves: movies, books, artists that he loves.
Older books, like I don't think anything you mentioned was pre. It was all pre-80s.
It was all pre-80s. Everything was pre-80s. 67, 65, 67, 52, 79. All older films, foreign films, books, artists, and the webcomic had no dialogue. It was dialogue free. It was just imagery. So it was,
And it came out in 2012.
It came out in 2012.
So when did John Wick come out?
I'm going to get to that.
Okay, sorry.
Don't get ahead of me, Heidi.
Sorry.
Don't.
I'm eager to hear the story.
My point.
Sorry.
It's the whole point of this thing. And but the webcomic, the story was published in 3 seasons. So he has like 3 different seasons of it.
Oh, okay.
Kind of how a show would be. And Santos cites the influences of various other films. Sergio Leone and John Woo, Sergio Leone did the spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood, A Man with No Name. Those, that trilogy, amazing western trilogy if you haven't seen it. And John Woo, an amazing Chinese director who does these crazy, wire action scenes with guns. It's ultra violent. It's absolutely amazing. And it's, visually astounding movies. Mm-hmm. So he has the most beautiful influences of cinema and literature and art artistry. And the original webcomic, which is free of dialogue, was later adapted into a series of hardcover graphic novels with dialogue added. Dark Horse Comics.
Okay.
So Dark
I've
Horse
heard of Dark Horse Comics.
Dark Horse Comics, they did. They're very famous for Hellboy.
Oh,
Dark
okay,
Horse.
that's why.
Yeah, Dark Horse did Hellboy. As well as The Umbrella Academy, which is another great show on Netflix.
Oh.
Watch it. Also based on a comic. But that one got all the credit it deserved, unlike Polar, which is my point. So the film version is based off of the first season of the graphic novels.
Oh.
So there's potential. So the article mentioned
for other
there's potential
movies.
for 2 more movies.
Oh, okay.
Because it's 3 seasons. There's potential for 2 more movies. And the way it ends, it's like, well, it's a cliffhanger.
Oh.
There could be more movies. And I hope there is. And was the graphic novel, the first of the graphic novel, Polar Came from the Cold, came out in November of 2013. The graphic novel by Dark Horse Comics. And the webcomic was published in January of 2012. Now, to what you said, John Wick, the first movie, came out in 2014. 2 years after the webcomic. So,
who was based off who? Huh?
I dropped my notes dramatically, like a mic drop. John Wick did not come first. Polar came before John Wick. So if anything, Netflix's Polar is its own goddamn thing. And the John Wick movies are big Hollywood's version of Polar.
Yeah.
Victor Santos's brilliant fucking novel. Assholes.
Do your research.
This is what annoys, and this is why this pisses me off so much. I know the Brie Larson thing pissed me off, especially the end part. I got a little big. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got a little angry. Heidi looked scared. But this aggravates me so much because I hate it when people don't get the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off that not just normal, because I'm fine with people that I've talked to, people I work with, friends that I have mention, oh, did you see, have you seen Polar? It kind of looks like John Wick, but, a little different. I kind of forgive those people because, they might not know better. And
right.
I forgive ignorance to a sense.
Right.
But when you're a journalist and you do articles for a website or for stuff like that, and you're a professional reviewer or critic, do your fucking research. Don't just assume because, this is just like that other thing. That other thing is obviously based off of that. Because I saw John Wick first and I saw Polar second, clearly Polar is based off of John Wick. No, asshat. Polar came first. Do your fucking research. This guy who started this webcomic in 2012 and in 3 years, in like 5 years. 2018. So,
okay.
Is that 5 years? Simple math? I don't
2012 to 2018 would be 6 years.
It's 6 years.
Yeah.
So within 6 years, his lowly little webcomic became a movie on Netflix.
Right.
That's a huge accomplishment for anybody.
Yeah.
And to diminish it to, it's just like John Wick. What the hell? This guy worked so hard on his own thing. Dark Horse was like, this is a great comic. We want to take it, add some dialogue, and sell it on shelves. Sure, great. A year after, almost 2 years, because it was November 2013. It was the graphic novel was published. So almost 2 years after the webcomic was out, he got hardcover graphic novels.
Wow.
Of these of his webcomic that he worked on. And then five years after that, it becomes a movie with Mads Mikkelsen. Right now, a big Hollywood name. And to diminish it, because it's kind of like another movie, it's such a shit. It's such a slap in the goddamn face to this poor guy.
Yeah.
And you have to give credit where credit is due. And it pisses me off when people whose job it is to do research and to write articles don't do any research. It's like, what do you get paid for?
Yeah.
Because clearly you get paid too much money to do too little work. Because in your article, you should have talked about this.
Yeah, I think that would have been a great way to show the enrichment of the story.
Yeah,
and I don't think it would have diminished anything with John Wick.
Yeah, you didn't even have to compare it to John Wick. John Wick is its own great franchise.
Right.
They're doing a third movie. It looks just as good as the first two. And those are fun, great movies. I love those movies. It doesn't, by just saying Polar is its own thing, doesn't take away from John Wick.
No.
So, but it does take away from Polar when you compare it to John Wick.
Yeah. And I don't think it takes away from John Wick if you say Polar came first. And
John Wick is based off of John Wick. Or not even, whatever. Oh, no, John Wick is based
it's very similar in its storyline.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about John Wick. I don't know if the people who wrote it or made it even know about Polar or knew about it till now.
Right, and they might not. They might not even know Polar exists, and they wanted to make their own original story and whatever. But this guy worked. He worked on this webcomic.
Yeah,
it was a thing that he loved doing, and he did it twice a week, and he published it on his website twice a week, and then it becomes an actual book, and then a movie. And to diminish it because you didn't want to Google anything, it took me 5 minutes to find out who this guy's name was.
I wonder what he feels about it.
I would be pissed. I don't know how he feels about it.
Yeah, I would be pissed too, but I'm wondering how he feels about it.
I mean, he might not even care. He probably
he might think, "Oh, that's really flattering."
Like, that's flattering that you would compare me to John Wick.
Yeah, but I wonder how he feels.
I'm very curious on that as well. But I don't know. It just aggravates me so much that
people don't do their research.
Give the credit where credit is due.
Exactly.
Do your research. Don't just believe it. Don't just and in two of these stories, I'm a culprit in just believing it. The Momo thing, I believed it full-heartedly, and the Polar, I thought it was just a Netflix movie. Oh, they're kind of copying off of John Wick, but if you're gonna copy off of a movie, John Wick's the movie to do it.
Yeah, but it's one thing to initially think that, and it's one thing to initially think that, but then do the research to really figure it out.
Yeah,
and a completely different thing to believe that and not do any research and just keep believing it.
Yeah, there is a difference. But like initially, I was these people who just believed it. And then I did my fucking research.
Right, exactly.
Do your research, people. Don't just believe blindly.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you take away from this episode and anything you do in life, research it. Don't listen to Joe Blow down the road who's like, oh, this is the thing of life. All right, Joe, I'm going to Google it and see if you're right.
Yeah.
Because Google's there.
Well, I'll tell you.
It's on all of our cell phones.
Even, like, Lou will ask me a question and I'll answer it. And with what I know the answer is, and he'll still look it up.
Right, he'll look it up anyway.
Yeah, even stuff about my spirituality. He'll ask me a question about it, and I'll tell him, and he'll kind of give me that look.
You're like, are you sure you really know?
Yeah, and then he'll look it up, and it used to really piss me off. And then I thought, what do I care if he's looking it up? It's just going to prove I'm right.
Yeah, if anything, you'd be like, look it up.
Whatever.
Prove me right.
Yeah. So now I do it to him.
He's just doing research to send the beacon back to home base.
Yeah.
To Robo headquarters.
To take over the planet.
So we can take over the planet.
I know.
That's all he's doing.
I'm trying to stay in his good graces.
You have to.
So, yeah, I want to be one of the chosen ones.
The robot take me with him. I married one of the robots. He has to take me with him.
Yeah, I'm chosen.
Right?
I get to survive.
Right? That's how that works. Either that or you're just used for breeding.
Ooh. Oh. I don't.
We will assimilate you.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
God. Exterminate.
This went really dark.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. Yeah, after I said it, I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that. Probably words didn't need to be said. Weird. I don't know. Kind of gross myself out there.
Oh, man.
Because now I can't get it out of my head. Just a room full of robots and just hiding. Just like, ah.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
What?
I went worse. I'm so sorry.
Retreat.
Now it's out there. Now I can't get it back.
Oh, my God.
Off the rails.
Yes, you are. And where you have to end.
We were right there.
Yeah.
We were right there.
We were.
Oh, and then I have to mention Heidi in rooms with
God.
Being assimilated by the Borg.
I'm so disturbed right now. All right. Anybody who's listening still.
Anybody who's still listening. God, if you're still listening. We got some stuff.
If you want to find out more information about the Geek-lish podcast or listen to our episodes, you can find us at www.geek-lish. Our Facebook page is geek-lish, and Twitter is at geek_lish. And you can also find our episodes on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Blueberry. And also check out our website. We have a page called Extras. It's outtakes from our podcast. And pretty soon we will be getting swag, and we will make sure that everybody knows about it. Everybody sees it. It's pretty awesome. We're really excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, and also keep an eye out for a very special video.
Oh, yeah.
Regarding me and pain.
Yeah, we're doing a special. It's for charity. We're doing a special episode.
Yeah, it's the briefly. I say briefly, and it's not going to be brief.
We're just going to say this.
Okay.
It's from Fuego Box.
Fuego Box.
And everybody's probably seen this everywhere, all over the internet.
It's called the Choco Challenge.
Yeah.
And I am doing it. So
it's gonna be epic.
It's gonna hurt my face.
It's gonna hurt your whole body.
Yeah.
So yeah, stay tuned for that video. We're waiting for the box to come in the mail. So as soon as we get it, and I can get Tim for a few hours,
I'm gonna eat it.
He's gonna eat it. We're gonna video it. We're gonna put it on the internet,
and then I'm gonna die. And this will be this is the last episode.
Aw.
Hi guys.
Sad face.
No, depending on when it comes out.
No, it's gonna be good. Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
And I'm actually pretty excited about it.
I am super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it.
I am super, super excited about it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening.
All right, guys. Stay nerdy. Bye.
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 Every time.